So one of my favorite dishes. So now we're gonna get a little bit of breakfast.
Breakfast. Well,
no, keep eating.
Please, no.
One of my favorite dishes, and this is just because of a childhood thing. So I think food and this is not novel to say. Food and memory are very closely linked.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that make you happy, if you're able to recreate them, make you happy again.
Yes.
So one of my favorite dishes from when I was a kid is an egg in the hole, which is just a piece of bread with a fried egg in the middle, like a gooey center.
And I should say that you are known for your egg in the hole because among the current affairs editorial staff for whom Oren has made egg in the hole, his egg in the hole is quite legendary, which is interesting because it's just an egg and a piece of bread.
It's super simple.
And yet the consensus is that you make this in a way that makes it really delicious, and I want to find out what the secret Oren egg in the hole magic is.
So because cooking can be done by everyone, there's no magic. All right, all I do is heat up some oil.
Okay.
What I like to do is put a little bit of butter, mix butter and oil, because butter has a little bit more flavor, but we don't have butter and we don't need it.
Okay.
All right. I like to salt a little bit of the oil, which you rarely do.
Salt the oil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the reason I do that is just because we're putting our bread in the pan. I want the bread to pick up a little bit of the salt. And I also want the egg that I'm about to drop in there to pick up a little bit of the salt on the bottom and on the top, because we want to season both sides.
Okay.
Bread is just an ingredient, so seasoning it makes sense.
And here now I want the lesson in how to crack an egg.
Okay. So let's get a bowl out so we can do it for the camera. Show me how you crack an egg.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hey!
That was great.
Cracked an egg!
You cracked an egg. You don't even need to be shown. That's a usable egg.
Now I have to say, I have over the course of months, not in preparation for this, been trying to improve my egg cracking.
What was the main thing that you ran into before?
Pieces of shell.
Okay.
Just ended up in the thing, and I still don't quite know how I got better, because it just seemed like I did it and I tried to get better, and then one day it became less likely that pieces of shell.
So you mean you just practiced and then you got better?
But I don't know. But I don't know what I was practicing. Is the thing.
Well, so here's how I crack an egg that I think helps, which is you cracked it on the side of the bowl.
Yeah.
Which totally makes sense, right?
It's still a little piece of shell.
Yeah, I made sure that didn't get into our pan.
Yeah. So it's still not perfect.
If you just think about what's going on with the egg, when you crack it on the edge of the bowl, it's pushing the shell into the egg.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is just crack it on a flat surface.
Oh.
And then open it up. And then you don't get any shell.
Huh. Okay.
And then if you were cooking to impress someone and you wanted to crack it with one hand, the cool thing about eggs is how strong they are.
Yeah.
So they have really strong membranes. So you can press on it and nothing bad is going to happen.
What? But okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So you just press and
pull.
Pull apart with your
That
fingers.
just feels like a recipe for giant shell chunks.
But you also don't have to do that.
I'll practice it.
You don't have to do that. But yeah, practice helps.
So
anyway, I put
egg in the hole.
I put the egg in the center. It sort of depends on how you like your egg. I like my eggs to be runny in the middle because I like mopping it up with the bread that's around there.
I don't like runny eggs.
Okay, so we're going to make a hard egg.
Yes, I like a hard egg. So you didn't... so you kept the egg intact.
Kept the egg intact.
Is there a word for that?
Intactness?
You didn't...
Keeping the yolk whole.
The yolk and the... What's it called?
Albumin.
The albumin. You did not mingle them.
No. So if I wanted to scramble an egg, that's what I would do. But because I like a runny yolk, that's not what I did. If you wanted to, you could mix them together and just have sort of like a mini omelet inside of your egg in the hole.
But you left it.
But I like a runny yolk, so I didn't do that. But if you want to make the yolk solid, then you cook it longer.
Yeah.
The only thing we're trying not to do is burn it, because burned food doesn't taste great. If you like burned food, you can eat it, but it doesn't taste great to me.
Not to you.
Okay. So once it gets to a stage where the bottom white is solid, because you need something completely solid to flip.
Right.
then this is a very bad spatula, so we're just going to lift it up and put it on the spatula rather than scooping the spatula under. And we're going to be brave. Do you want to do it?
Oh my god.
If you mess up, it doesn't matter. There's no mess up. You did it.
Well, there's a little bit of a mess.
So we can just clean up that mess.
Push that.
You just push that. When you're doing this, you don't want to push the bread because the yolk will get stuck and will just explode all over the place. But you can just push the white back towards the bread.
White back.
Just get him all friendly, close to the bread. And then it's done.
Okay.
Okay, so then we're going to let this go. If we were cooking it for me, I'd let it go for 1 minute. Just because I want the yolk to be, and you can poke the top and you can see how soft it is.
I see.
So that's still pretty soft.
Yeah.
But if we're doing it for you, we want to wait until this is pretty firm.
Well, we should do one for both of us, shouldn't we?
Well, yeah, I'll make one for myself right after.
Okay.
Okay, so we're doing that. Our lasagna's bubbling away.
Lasagna's, how long, I mean, I noticed you didn't put a timer on that.
No, I didn't put a timer on that. So you can do it, once again, one of two ways. You could follow a recipe, which I think is a good way to learn how to do something new and explore new food. So if this is the first time you're making a lasagna, you should, use a recipe or look at the box. So our box said half an hour that the noodles should go for.
Okay.
But what I know that we're looking for in a lasagna is for the noodles to be cooked and for the cheese to be gooey. That's what we want. So at about 20 minutes, I'll probably say, Nathan, go lift off the foil and we'll see how it looks.
So it is a qualitative judgment rather than a quantitative judgment. The quantitative being X number of minutes. We are looking. We just want to measure it. We don't really the minutes.
It's I mean, so the way that I think about.
I mean, I guess I know that you look in and see if it's done. Is it done? Is it done?
Yeah. Well, you know what done looks like. You've seen a done lasagna.
Yeah.
So you know what a done lasagna looks like.
Right.
But I mean, what recipes are? It's just someone saying, "Hey, last time I tried doing this, it took me about 30 minutes, so that's probably a good amount of time."
Yeah.
It's just a story about how I cooked a thing.
A recipe is a story.
A recipe is a story about how I cooked a thing in the past. So, okay, you see this is hard?
Yes.
So, we're getting to your stage.
Okay. Does it need? Is it done on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. We're not gonna flip it over or do it anymore. It doesn't.
This is gonna be done.
So it doesn't even really need to be that toasted.
No, and now I like the bread to get a little bit more toasty. The pan didn't get as hot as I wanted it to, but I like the bread to be more toasty. But you can, if you want the bread to be less toasty, you can make it less toasty. If you want it more toasty,
but you wouldn't flip it over and do another. You'd leave it.
I mean, if I really wanted it more toasty, you totally can. Once this side is solid.
Yeah. Okay.
But this side is the uglier side.
That is an ugly side. I don't want to see that side.
No, it's the hideous side.
Take that side away. Hey, there we go. And that looks beautiful. Oh wait, yeah. I mean, not that aesthetics matter, but you know. But
if you want it to look beautiful, that's fine.
But if you want.
So we've got a mostly hard egg in the hole.
Mostly hard.
Just probably a little bit soft. And
this is our egg in the hole.
Where's our bread? I'm gonna make myself one.
Yeah, please. What do you do with the center chunk? Do you just throw it away? Is that
so there's a couple of things that you could do, but it's really up to you.
Is there anything new? Okay, I'll start phrasing my questions differently. This is like this is sort of like a Jeopardy thing where you got to make sure you get the form right. Instead of what do you do, is there anything you can do with the center chunk of bread?
Well, there's many things in this world that one could do, but
is there anything worthwhile? That's a value judgment.
What I sometimes do.
Okay, what occasionally do you personally do with your chunks?
Sometimes I just eat it because I'm hungry. Sometimes what I'll do if I'm trying to be fancier is, and when the bread is in a more solid circle, is I'll toast it in the oil and salt next to my egg in the hole. Because oily, salty bread is delicious, and also because you can dip it in the yolk if the yolk is liquid.
Yeah, okay. So just toast the whole as well.
So you can toast the whole. Or you can just eat
Do you call it toasted or is it fried? What, are we toasting the bread or are we frying it?
I mean, because you've got a fat, you're kind of frying it. But you can also toast something in a pan like we toasted the tortillas yesterday, where we had no fat. We just
So toasting is just the application of heat.
The application of heat to the thing. I mean, that's what a toaster does.
A toaster just makes the bread hot until it burns.
A bread is an ingredient. You can cook it like anything else.
Okay.
So let me get you a fork.
Yeah, I would like a fork. I would like to try this
with the egg that you cracked and that you flipped.
Do you use a knife or do you just well, is there a way to eat it without a knife? I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you can just cut with the side of the fork.
It's just kind of. Oh, okay, all right, that's fine. I'll eat that.
But once again, the tools are there to serve rather than you serving the tools.
I'm an English person, so I like to slice things with a knife.
Is that an English thing?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe it's my parents. I just associate everything my parents do. I assume is what English people do because they're the main English people in my life.
That's fair.
Mm.
How is that?
That's really good. It's very good. And so we didn't even put butter in this. This is just oil.
This is just olive
oil.
Really, you don't need that many other fats other than olive oil.
Yeah.
There's some things that really benefit from butter, and there's a few small things that benefit from like a oil that doesn't have that much flavor, like a canola oil.
Okay.
But most things, for me at least, olive oil works fine and is a healthier oil.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I'm trying to eat well, so olive oil isn't that bad for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to drown things in olive oil, but I mean, you see how much we're using. We're using like a tablespoon to cook many things, especially on a non-stick pan.
I see. Yeah, you didn't actually use much oil here.
No,
it's not drenched.
No, and you can use more if you want, but really you don't need a ton.
Okay. I think that's also one of the reasons why I got splattered with oil. I put a bunch of oil in it.
Well, you also need a ton of oil in your pans because you have destroyed your pans.
I've destroyed my non-stick pans, so they're very sticky. The eggs all stick to the ground when I try to do the eggs. Eggs are just a magical thing, though.
Eggs are so wonderful.
Because eggs, you can do so many. They're a very strange thing when you think about it, because obviously they come out of the cloaca of a bird, and
there's that runny yolk.
There's the runny yolk. You got the runny yolk, and I got the hard yolk.
You got the hard yolk.
Oh, okay. So was it longer for harder, right?
Longer for harder.
Okay.
Because the yolk it's just cooking the yolk to make it solid.
Yeah.
And you could do that with boiling an egg too.
It's funny. This is really, really simple and very, very tasty. And I think that is the thing that I think people don't necessarily tell you, is that it's possible to make things with very little stuff, not much time, and it's ugly, and it's tasty.
It's tasty. Like, in a normal pantry, not your pantry, but in a normal pantry, most people would have some bread and eggs. This feels like a pretty decadent breakfast, actually. But actually, it's just bread and eggs and oil.
It does. It feels like it feels like a Sunday-made breakfast when you taste it.
But this took, 5 minutes?
It's very brief. You could do this every morning if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be terrible for you if you didn't drown it in butter. This is an egg and bread and a little bit of oil.
Yeah. I mean, you want vegetables throughout your day, but...
Vegetables. Ah, yes. We're going to talk more about vegetables.
Under the pandemic, I've been making a lot of eggs in the hole. Because you just roll out of bed and make an egg in the hole.
Yeah, and you don't look terrible.
No. You don't know what's underneath this apron.
I look good. Now everyone just gets to watch us eat delicious egg in the hole, but the thing is, it's really tasty. It's really difficult to stop eating it. No, I am quite impressed with how simple something tasty can be, and that was the same as was true of the tacos. The tacos, what did we do? Because remembering how to make things is important. With the tacos, we chopped all the sweet potatoes, a giant pile of sweet potatoes, boiled the sweet potatoes just till they were soft. Just made sure they were soft. Strained them, sautéed the onions. The There was and then put beans, black beans, strain the beans, put the beans in, and then toasted the tortillas. So we had a bunch of toasted tortillas. Then we had beans and onions, and then we put the sweet potatoes in with that stuff. Stirred it round. Got some Greek yogurt. Squeezed the lemon into the yogurt. Slather that onto your tortilla. Mush this around for a while. Pop it in.
Eat it.
That's just
that was it. You know how to make the tacos.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Yeah. Yeah. It changes stuff. It changes stuff remarkably. They really are extraordinary. I don't know why those particular things more than almost anything.
I think it's really just salt.
Yeah.
Pepper.
Salt is magical. Magical thing, salt.
It really is. And pepper helps with everything, but but yeah, you don't need a bunch of complicated things.
No.
Right, and also this was comprehensible.
Yes.
This was easy. The other thing I want to say before we leave the egg in the hole.
Yes.
Is what if you hadn't been able to flip it properly? You did a great flip. But let's say that the egg had flown out of the egg in the hole and onto a separate place of the pan.
I don't know, just let it keep cooking and then eat it.
Yeah. Egg in the hole is just cooked bread and egg. It doesn't really matter.
If it doesn't end up in the hole, it's not like golf.
It's no.
Like it has to.
You still get the hole. You still get the egg.
You
get the egg and the bread.
Right. It's just egg and bread. Yeah.
I think there's a huge fear that you're going to screw up and that it'll make it inedible. But actually, it doesn't make it inedible. It just makes it ugly.
Most of the things you screw up, you're not going to make it inedible. You're just going to make it disappointing. But you don't need to be disappointed if it tastes fine. You're
here to keep your body alive with food and make it
keep your body alive and
good.
Hopefully make it taste okay. One final question about those tacos last night.
Yeah.
What would you? There are variations on those tacos that I could do. I mean, my default now will just be to cook a bunch of sweet potatoes because I can. This is the procedure that I can remember. But if I'm going like, I want it to be taco night again, but I don't necessarily want sweet potatoes, onions, and black beans, what do I do?
So, I mean, I think beans are generally good in tacos because they're high in protein and they fill out stuff. But if you don't want beans, you don't have to do beans. We talked about veggie meat before.
Veggie meat.
You could do veggie meat. We just sauteed up some zucchini. No reason you couldn't put the zucchini in the taco.
Okay.
No reason you couldn't saute up some spinach. You could really put whatever you want in there. It's just a vessel.
The taco is a vessel. For all of your aspirations and desires. The taco is a vessel. Well, I think we have made a really superb breakfast. And next we're going to look at what groceries we have bought and try and think about. The grocery pile is very intimidating, so
we'll talk through
getting past that intimidation.
We'll talk through it.